Hello everybody, welcome back to another video. Today is another episode of reviewing NHL teams so far, as today we got the Washington Capitals, as they had a pretty good damn offseason to say the least. I mean, a little bit of skeptical moves, but honestly they had a very good offseason for themselves. So let's get right in to talking about their offseason. Before that, I'd like to just say, if you are new to the channel, make sure to slap that subscribe button and hit that like button as well. That will be very much appreciated. So let's get right into this video, as today the Washington Capitals, honestly, I've had a pretty good offseason. They got some depth signings here just recently in Henri Lapierre, which I think will be a very good player for the Washington Capitals. He's put up some really good seasons there with Pittsburgh when he was playing it with Crosby. Even when he went to Buffalo, he still put up a good solid 30 points. Now, he's no defensive guy, but this guy is a speed demon, and he will produce some good offense for the Washington Capitals, especially since he will most likely be playing on that third line. And we all know Panic. We all know this guy can shoot the puck, and we've seen it from him before. He can shoot the puck, and if he's going to be set up, I think Henri Lapierre would be a perfect setup guy for Panic. But anyways, they also got Zdeno Chara as well to a no movement clause, this 1-year deal. Very, very cheap contract for Zdeno Chara. So let's get into everything. Now, the Washington Capitals really didn't do any moves, but for moving up to pick Henri Lapierre. Now, this guy is injured right now. I can't remember what type of injury he had. It was very unfortunate that he wasn't able to make it to the World Juniors for Team Canada. He would have been a great player since he was playing so great in the Olinka Gretzky Cup this year as well. He's been playing for Chicoutimi there, 8 points in 5 games, so I guess he's not injured anymore, but he's a mad good producer, man, and this guy will be the start of their prospect pool building up with Connor McMichael. Now you add in Henri Lapierre. Their prospect pool here in Washington once looked weak and bleak, now is looking pretty damn strong for the future for the Washington Capitals. Still not looking as strong. If you are to lose of Ovechkin, you're definitely not going to have any All-Star to replace Ovechkin, and that'll take a very long time to replace that man. But anyways, let's continue on as we got free agency. They did get Brendan Dillon. I think he re-signed with the team, right? Yeah, he re-signed with the team. They went and traded for him during the offseason, or during the trade deadline, I think it was. But Brendan Dillon, great defensive defenseman, honestly. Very solid. 4 years for $3.9 million. That's not that bad for a defensive defenseman like Brendan Dillon. A little bit steep, but for his defensive ability, that's what they're paying him for, and is a really good contract. Henrik Lundqvist, rest in peace. Not really rest in peace, but rest in peace to the year of Henrik Lundqvist, and probably the career of Henrik Lundqvist. I don't know if we're going to be seeing him again. We may see a resurgence of the king in Henrik Lundqvist, but what it kind of sounds like is this man is near the tail end of his career, and will most likely be maybe announcing retirement next year. But who knows? Maybe he will make a comeback if he's all healthy and ready to go. But I wish him the best of luck, King Henrik, and everything that you're going through. We'll move on, though. Justin Schultz, which was a pretty big mystery signing for a lot of fans. They were asking why the hell were they doing with this one. 2 years for $4 million for Justin Schultz, who has been steady declining, and when there was a decent amount of solid defensemen out there, but Justin Schultz had a really bad season with the Pittsburgh Penguins, and he's been doing really well there for the Pittsburgh Penguins. He put up a great career high 51 points when he first went there in his first full year with the Pittsburgh Penguins. He was fantastic, and especially had a really good playoffs with them as well. But I think the reason why the Washington Capitals made this move was to, I guess, bring some more offense into this team. Another guy that can transition the puck, especially since Michael Kempny will be out of lineup. I know he's defensive defenseman, but you look at everyone on this roster, you see a lot of defenders that are going to be shut down defenders, and now you add Justin Schultz into that play, who can probably play on that power play on the second unit. That will be a huge player for the Washington Capitals and will help them out tremendously. Next up, they picked up Trevor Van Riemsdyk. Really nice depth defensive defenseman. And then, of course, we talked about Sheary and Zdeno Chara, which is going to be weird to see Zdeno Chara in a Washington Capitals uniform. I'm almost seeing him in my entire life. He was in a Boston Bruins uniform, and now he's going to be going off to the Washington Capitals, which I think is a very, very good move for the Washington Capitals, bringing in some more experience. Now, this team is looking very old, especially on their defense. Every defenseman is almost 30 years old. It's definitely a very old defense core, but John Carlson just came off a career year. Dmitry Orlov, still a great defenseman, and you have a very solid bottom six, right? Like, you have a very good, solid defensive core. Now, the only problem that you're going to have this year is goaltending. They gave a PTO to Craig Anderson, so maybe they might be signing him onto the team, which won't be a bad idea. For the record he put up for the Ottawa Senators is not that bad, and to be a backup for Ilya Samsonov, who they are going to need a backup unless you believe that Benasek and Copley is ready to go. Copley, he's put up some decent numbers, but definitely not the best that you want from your backup goalie, especially in this year where tandems are going to be very, very important this year. And then also where's Benasek, who has been putting up some good numbers there in the AHL, but is he ready to take that backup role in the NHL as a 25-year-old? I mean, he might be ready to go, but there's some big questions with the goaltending there for the Washington Capitals. But honestly, I love this offseason. They didn't really lose too many people, and I think they just added people. So I'm automatically going to give this TNA for their offseason. I think this offseason for the Washington Capitals, I think the only really mess up that they made was maybe Schultz, but even then, that's a puck-moving defenseman. Now, I think they needed for this team. And how deep their defensive core is, if Justin Schultz doesn't perform, they got other defensemen that they could throw up in there. So I don't think you should be worrying too much about their defensive core. Even their offensive core, like their top nine is looking really, really good. Hagelin's a good top nine guy. Nick Dodd, Hathaway, big hitter in him. Panic, Lars Eller, and Connor Sheary. If you could get this bottom six scoring a little bit and playing good defensive hockey, this team could be a very, very good team. But this team is on its last legs. Honestly, you got Ovi and Backstrom at a very old age, 35 for Ovi and 33 for Backstrom. Ovi's on his last year of his deal. Is this a prove it or not year for the Washington Capitals? What is next for this team? And I gotta say, maybe, just maybe, they're gonna be trying to make a playoff run this year, which most likely they are looking to do. But I'm gonna end the video here, guys. Make sure to like and subscribe. Tell me, guys, what you guys thought about the Washington Capitals offseason. I thought it was pretty damn good. They only made improvements, and they're only gonna be going up from here. So I'm gonna end the video here, guys. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you guys all in the next video. Adios, amigos.